I call this the devil's heartbeat. This is 5-year silver. And by the way, I'm not about to push you guys to get a bunch of silver. I have silver. I love silver. Silver's a better savings of wealth than fiat. But swear to God, community and skills are more valuable than silver or gold. And I'll explain that in a second. But this is a very interesting way to look at how debt and currency and physical money actually works. Okay, so this was from JulysEnd. He's the guy who wrote SpiritWhirled. Good dude, has a lot of great posts. So shadow banned, I can't even tag him on Instagram. I'm the same way. I'm so ridiculously shadow banned now, but I don't care. Instagram for me isn't a place to reach anyone new. It's a place to reach my audience that help me write jokes. It's that simple. All right, so imagine locking in a 30-year fixed rate mortgage for $400,000, while at the same time having 1,000 assets worth the purchasing power of $900 each at the time. Then imagine your fiat currency is destroyed through hyperinflation, and 5 years after, those assets that were worth $900 each are now worth $107 million each. He's talking about silver in Venezuela. Your mortgage is still locked in at $400,000. That's why they love ARMs in mortgages. They like adjustable rate mortgages. Fixed rate, fixed 15-year, fixed 30-year. I'm not advocating mortgages, by the way, because we'll talk about the other devil's heartbeat called deflation. Stay out of debt as much as you can, but this dude's bringing up a really good point. All right, so anyway, that's why it's important to have lawful money and real wealth outside of the system. Yes. When they crash, the opportunities for people who hold debt but also have real wealth are endless. But forget about debt, just real wealth. Because deflation is the opposite of this. Like, let's say you have $400,000 in debt and the dollar tanks, which can happen. That absolutely can happen. When banks can't put people in debt anymore, because in the fractional reserve system, every time you buy something with debt, that's where the money's created. You have the government and the Fed doing the nonsense with the emergencies, like, oh, they're just a printing press. The real printing press is 10% down, here's 800 grand that didn't exist yesterday. And so I can easily see a world where that starts going down. Vox Day says the same thing, that deflation. Right now it appears we're inflationary, which we are in a way, but it's not the dollar. The dollar is actually going up in value right now. It's the purchasing power. And the main attack on the purchasing power is supply chain disruptions. So again, if you have community, skills, purpose, all that, none of this even matters. But this is a great explanation of how currency works, because there's so many currencies operating at the same time. All right. When they crash, the opportunities for people who hold debt but also have real wealth are endless. They know this is going to happen to the US dollar, which is why they keep creating more debt. They also have the assets to pay the debt off when they crash the US dollar's purchasing power to zero. Totally could happen, by the way. This scenario could totally happen, but the reverse could also happen. Because the dollar still, we'll get into that in a second. All right. They are prepared, but are you? Every man should have at least 1,000 ounces of silver. I mean, that's a lot, but how dare you? That's legit though. 1,000 ounces of silver is, what would that be now? That's like $25,000. I mean, I don't think you don't need silver. But in that scenario, 1 ounce of silver could pay off your house. And 100 ounces of gold to take with him into the next paradigm. That's good advice if you can afford it, but don't spend, if you have any debt or you have skills where you could buy a chainsaw or something, I personally don't recommend spending $25K on metal, but if you have excess money and no debt, then yeah, this is great advice. But for a lot of people, I recommend that money, use it to strengthen your self-sustaining ability or, tools that can help you make an income is more valuable than metal. But if you just have some money laying around, this is good advice. They're prepared, but all right, 100 ounces of gold, that's a ton, by the way. I can't afford any of that, but I get it. If you can afford that, great. If you can meet those requirements, you're good. If not, then focus on investing in yourself. Great advice. I love this. This guy's great. So you can get them in other ways. A farmer who is cash poor now doesn't have to sell his crops for anything but gold or silver in the next paradigm. People will use lawful money to barter. That's why skill set is important. Think of ways to offer services. That's it. That's the number one. Services that people need and will part with their gold or silver for. Exactly. Someone with 1,000 ounces of silver but no skills very soon will have no silver because they're going to have to pay the people with skills to do it. Right? You see it? That's why this new paradigm potentially, I can't predict economic futures, but could be awesome for people with serviceable skills. Like exponential growth. Who's this? This is he wrote SpiritWhirled. His name's Dylan. He's on Crow sometimes. At first I thought he was a little Enos, Weenus, one-eyed Weenus. Like you can say any word and he'll just start taking it apart. He's like, oh Win, oh Wan, oh Wayne. Oh Wayne from India. Oh Wayne meant rain, which was snow, go, gold. But he's one of the few people that actually knows what he's talking about with that shit. Where he will connect words to ancient empires and sky clock knowledge in ways that 99% of people that do that can't. And so understanding the twilight language of phonetic Kabbalism is his specialty. And he also understands currency really well. But, sometimes I don't know what any of that means. And I frankly don't care a ton. But it's interesting to see the history of certain words. Anyway, that's why skill set is important. Think of ways to offer services that people need and will part with gold or silver for. Food and rent are the big things. If you can provide those, people will overpay for them when you're motivated to. Hunger and winter are strong motivators. Yes. And so he is JulysEnd on Instagram. I can't tag him because he's saying too much truth. All right, so here is a great meme. This is before cyber attack and after cyber attack. Precious metal doesn't change at all with cyber.